No, Madhush. John, hello, good morning.
Good morning, members, and welcome to this meeting of the City of London Police Pensions Board. As you are aware, the public element of today's meeting is being live streamed, and those participating in the meeting have given consent for their inclusion. The recording will be available on the City Corporation's YouTube channel following the meeting, and it shall be retained for up to 1 civic year.
Okay, thank you. Morning. I'm assuming no new declarations.
No declarations received in advance of the meeting.
We're happy with the minutes, 15th of October.
And item 1, apologies, sorry.
Oh, apologies. Sorry, I forgot about that. Apologies. We've got apologies from Helen, and it looks like Madhush, or he hasn't given them.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. No new declarations.
No.
Happy with the minutes, the 15th of October.
Yep.
Okay, I bet as agreed. So number 4.
Number 4.
Administrator's update. Great.
Thank you, Chairman. This is the standing agenda item that covers the work of the Pensions Office since the last board meeting. Draw members' attention to the audit reports covered on page 10. Internal audit is currently with us with the results expected towards the end of March. Also on page 10, pre-retirement webinars. The Pensions Office and HR delivered a webinar to officers to cover pre-retirement issues, and same thing will be done again in July and plan to do.
But that was picked up the last meeting, wasn't it? So that's good.
It was in plan then, yeah, and it's happened now. So plan is to do 2 a year, potentially more if there's a demand for it.
Okay.
Also on page 12, pensions dashboards, included a non-public appendix 2, the matching criteria that the Pensions Office will be using when the dashboards go live later this year. I'll go through that when we get to the non-public section. And also I've got some training to deliver at the end to go through with our portal.
Okay. And the 2 items on appendix page 15, those 2 January items have been and gone.
That's right, yes, both targets were met. Event report was delivered 31st of January and the pre-retirement webinar was delivered 22nd of January.
Thank you. And then my only question, when I have to ask it in public, the page 17, the running total 74% statement notifying estimate retirement benefits.
Yes, certainly this was all linked to the issuing and kind of preparing and delivering the annual benefit statements in August, September last year, where all our estimates that we were doing were put on hold so we could concentrate on getting on the annual statements where there was a statutory deadline to deliver them, and then picked up the work again afterwards, but the requests.
So this is now on an improving trend.
That's right, yes.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Any questions on that? Ray?
Yeah, I've got one. It's good to see those webinars, the pre-retirement webinars. I think they're a really useful addition to the ongoing process. I know I've mentioned them on a couple of occasions before. Are they a precursor to the pre-retirement course, which I know doesn't sit necessarily with you guys, but is that the kind of long-term solution that I aim across the board?
So that was raised by the Federation, and I will be working with them to put that into place, because obviously pensions only plays a small part of that. In regards to the webinar, that is available on our intranet page, so everybody can look at it and relook at it and relook at it if they like. And the plan will be for the July one to try and develop a more retirement day for a lot more information, but due to the time scales, we wanted to make sure we at least did the pension webinar for people.
Yeah, it completely makes sense. And then you mentioned, Graham, there was obviously to tackle any issues that have come up for people that are looking to retire. What sort of issues did you see occur? And are they something that you need to sort of progress onwards from there?
Well, rather than issues, it was more things we talk within the webinar about how people go about retiring, the process that they need to follow when pensions are paid. Pay date for pensions is on a day of the month, which is separate from their salary. People just didn't know that when the lump sum was going to be paid. So it's covering things like that, which we tend in the past, we get a lot of questions about it. And because people are just ignorant of it. So while we put it into correspondence we send out, it's not, people are more interested in the figures, they're not looking at the dates.
Yeah, so just logistics really,
yeah.
Anything else. That's interesting. Thank you, Jim.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions on that? Welcome, Madhush. We can see you on screen.
Good morning.
Yeah, very fine statue behind you. I won't ask you who it is, but anyhow, it's rather magnificent.
It's Sita and Rama. They're 500-year-old statues of our key Indian deities from Bali.
Okay. Good. All right, let's move on.
Thank you, Chair. So item 5 is a scheme manager update.
Hi, so I just introduced this. This is for the period of the 1st of September to the 31st of December. As you will see, queries and complaints have reduced
Good.
significantly over this quarter. And when we do receive them, they are being resolved quite promptly. And we still have our weekly check-in just to see what the blockers are. There are still some long-standing ones, but most of those, the few that are outstanding, are out of either the pension office control or our control. But generally, we have seen a decrease in this, and a lot of the complaints derive from communications. So we are working to improve that slightly. But yeah, any questions, please feel free to ask.
That feels good. Any questions, John?
John, if you could turn on your microphone, please.
I'm looking at the transfer data and the outstanding 3. Is there a timeline on it? It's quite a significant number outstanding, and it must be difficult for you to chase them.
Yeah.
Do you escalate them up the ranks?
So the pension office chased that, and they chased that, and then Alex, as COO, then chases the equivalent at the 4th, and then also the officers affected have also gone in their way to try and chase it also, because obviously they're the ones that want to transfer data. So we are escalating it. They're the ones that obviously officers with us, and they want their transfer data pushed through. So we are pushing that, but we are relying on other people giving us that information back.
Okay, that's very clear. Can I ask a question on paragraph 7, Chair? Number of officers opting out of the police pension. What's the percentage these days? And if I opt out when I join, can I opt in halfway through my service or not?
At this present time of opting out, they are very few. In regards to you can opt back in. You can opt back in. Whether you can backdate that, I'd have to ask as a technical question, because I'm not sure.
Yeah, so any officer that opts out is entitled to opt back into the pension scheme, but there may well be restrictions to the benefits that they can accrue with regards to ill health retirement going forward.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you.
Just a quick question on that, if I may. This is a great question. Officers who opt out, there'll be a variety of reasons why they may choose to opt out. Is there a journey where, they are engaged to understand why they have chosen to opt out of the pension scheme? Because, quite clearly, quite often that might indicate some level of distress financially. I mean, they may have other benefits and other income, etc. But I think it's important that there is a sort of touch point to understand why somebody is opting out, given the importance for your long-term and financial well-being that you do have provision in your retirement. Thank you.
There's a fine line we have to tread here as administrators, because we're not allowed to give advice. The opt-out form that we have been asking officers to complete for the last 7 or 8 years, we do ask for a reason why people are opting out. That was a suggestion from the Home Office when that was first introduced. However, 9 out of 10 opt-outs don't bother filling it out, or they put something like "don't want to be in the pension scheme at this time." It was just to give people, administrators, or more importantly the Home Office, a flavour of why people are opting out. They are now introducing a new opt-out form nationally, which I suspect probably will ask that question in a bit more detail and make it more of a compulsory question for officers to answer. So while they've asked for a bit of a flavour why people are opting out, it hasn't been a compulsory question, so there isn't really any statistics that we have to.
We don't have any insight in MI. So I work for Lloyds Bank, and obviously a significant pension scheme. What we do if colleagues choose to opt out, we can't give advice similarly to the police pensions board, but we can share information about why pensions are important, what they support in your journey, etc., etc. Do we have that sort of key information type pack that we can share with those that choose to opt out? Noting the fine line, but I think it's really important thinking about long-term financial well-being and colleague well-being in general.
Not rather than a pack, one of the things that we are required to do is we will give a presentation to all new recruits joining the police force as they join, and we will go through exactly what the pension scheme is in a factual manner rather than saying this is the best pension scheme to be in. We'll go through all the benefits that the scheme provides, how much people have to pay into it and what they could expect to return. So in theory, all new recruits, and it does tend to be more often than not, it's the younger officers joining tend to be the ones that opt out. They have been given as much information as we can reasonably give them without stepping onto the toes of advice, just to let them know what they potentially might be giving up. But that's not to say that maybe more could be done at the point that they choose to opt out. We have given them as much information as we can do when they join the force.
Okay, so one more final question, if I may, apologies. When a police officer opts out, does that mean that the contribution that the police would have made towards their pension scheme ends up being paid in lieu in their salary? Do they feel the financial benefit of opting out, I guess is the question.
Yes, so they pay contributions out of their salary. So the moment they come out, they stop paying the contributions. The contributions get tax relief at source, so they don't get 100% of their contributions back in their pay, but the net amount, then that net salary will go up as they come out of the pension scheme.
So opting out from their perspective, absolutely understood that. But from a police perspective, obviously we're making a contribution as well into the pension scheme. Do they feel the benefit of that? No,
so that's purely the employer contribution is there purely to maintain the funding level. I know it's a unfunded scheme, but to maintain the level of money that the scheme's got available to it.
Thank you for helping me understand. Thank you.
Just thinking aloud, Graham, what we do at work, we retain an independent financial advisor for things like this. And if a member of staff opts out, we give them access to that person. We give them half an hour or whatever, just to sort of talk through the consequences of their decision. Is that something that we make available or not?
No, so because the corporation, you can't give advice.
No,
we sort of looked into it, but then there is an issue about liability if the wrong advice is given.
Yeah.
And the city doesn't want to be on the hook for it. The city does run retirement courses. I did go on one, and that is run by an independent person, but it's made very clear that that's where the liability stops with the city. So it's that fine line, Henry, of if you did and they gave wrong advice, they could sue, and that's not our responsibility.
Okay. Thank you. Any more questions on that? No, thank you.
Next is item 6, the City of London Police Pension Scheme Risk Register.
Graham, back to you, I think.
Thank you. This is another standing agenda item for the board. We've made one change to the risks in the register at PSB 08 McLeod legal case. We've decreased the target risk from 6 down to 4 to account for the fact that we hope that the work will eventually become business as normal and eventually be subsumed into another risk. We've also reduced the current risk rating down from 12 to 8 to reflect the work that has already taken place. The implementation of the remedy means that while the impact is likely to remain unaffected, the likelihood of there actually being an issue in the first instance has reduced.
Do you have any idea when that will become business as usual? It's now been enforced for 28 months.
But things are constantly changing, and there are bits and pieces coming in. There's a new bit of legislation that came out within the last week, which is going to affect, and it's all McLeod linked. So while the big work has already been done, there's a constant stream of new things coming along.
Okay, and I just pick up the same issue which I raised on call in. I just worry that our analysis of cybersecurity breaches unlikely. I just think it feels a bit naive, but because you hear about it, I just made that point. I just think we read about them everywhere, and I just think we need to be conscious of that.
Yeah, the risk that we've got is linked to the one on the corporate risk register. There are huge number of protections in place, so while it can't be ruled out totally, those protections that are in place do mean it should be unlikely.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, we end up insuring cyber risk, and the risk is not going away. Put it like that. Anyhow, okay. Any questions on 6? No. Okay.
Thank you. Then we move on to item number 7, questions on matters relating to the work with the board. I've not received any in advance.
Any questions? I haven't had any. No. Okay.
And then at item 8, any other business that the chairman considers urgent.
What about these ones? Where are we? Oh, this is ultra. Oh, okay, now I got nothing else. No.
Perfect. Then we move on to item 9, the exclusion of the public. Do members agree to exclude the public?
Okay.
Thank you. Just allow me a couple of
Okay.
minutes to end the live stream.